Welcome back to the Knick-Knack Review. I'm your host, Clint the Knick-Knack, and today we get to talk about Episode 2 of the Amazon series Invincible. Let's get started. By the way, before you continue this video, there will be spoilers. So the show starts out with this Henry Gyrich-looking guy coming to oversee basically the onslaught that Omni-Man delivered. And he's checking all the bodies, seeing if there's any life, and according to the mess, I wouldn't expect any. After checking the rest of the team, they eventually get to Omni-Man, and they get a pulse. This is where you're introduced to Cecil, the guy voiced by Walton Goggins. That dude is creepy. Big old scar on his face and everything. He screams bad guy. He screams like a guy you really can't trust, but who knows, you might be able to. He really sets up the investigation going into the murder scene that you just witnessed. Fast forward a little bit into the show, and you get the Flaxans. They actually invade Earth. They're an alien race that actually it's quite cool because they actually accelerate time. Their time is moving way faster than ours. They come through a big boom tube and just invade, or they just come in guns ablazing, just pow pow pow, pew pew pew, all this stuff, laser guns flying, and it's like, oh wow, oh my gosh, who's gonna save us? I tell you who. Team, that's who. So on this team, you got Adam Eve, you got Rexplode, you got Duplicate, and my personal favorite, Robot. Now, don't underestimate this team just because of their age. They actually were able to impress the Guardians of the Globe before their unfortunate demise. I like the dynamic between the team members because you can tell they kind of don't get along, but at the same time, they work really well as a team. Robot is the most impressive one, I believe. After a rough introduction between Invincible and Team, they managed to actually be an entire team and push the Flaxans back for a while at least. Later on in the episode, Mark is able to actually finally see his dad, and he's all beat up and bloody, and a sight that Mark has never witnessed before in his life. Considering you have an invincible dad, it's kind of hard to see something like that. And you can see the pain in his face, just the emotion, even though it's an animated series. You really connect with that, seeing a parent, in that condition, not easy. So after the introduction of Team, later on you get to see a little bit of their personalities come to light. You really get to learn how the team works, not only how they work, but how they interact with each other when they're not actually fighting crime. So later that day or the next day, Mark actually goes back to school, and that's when he notices, oh, Adam, Eve, and I attend school together. Whoa. So they figure out each other's secret identity and become best of friends. So fast forward into the episode, and the Flaxans actually manage to come back. And they are actually adapted to the whole accelerated time, and they manage to actually slow time down to where they can use it to their advantage. In fact, the battle goes so south that Eve kind of comes near death. And I love that scene because he's basically at death's door, about to be killed. You just see him, that rage, and he just comes in and just woof! And that dude gets knocked the heck out. So after having a close encounter with death, they manage to push back the Flaxans once again, and they basically go back to their home planet and just be like, okay, sorry. Later in the episode, Omni-Man gains consciousness back, and he starts talking, starts feeling a little normal, but he's still a little weak. This is when Henry Gyrich wannabe actually warns Omni-Man and Mark, being known as Alan, is approaching Earth very quickly. Omni-Man then gives Mark a quick briefing on who Alan is and how to deal with him. At first, Omni-Man was like, oh, I'll deal with it. And Mark was like, no, Dad, I'll take care of it. And he's like, no, I don't know if you can. He convinces his dad to let him do it. So Invincible races out into space, ready to charge into battle, and he meets Alan, voiced by none other than Seth Rogen. I gotta say, I was a little taken back whenever I heard his voice with that alien, and I thought it was just going to be a complete comedy sketch, which it was a little funny, but it actually worked really well for the character. And they actually had a nice battle on the moon, because it starts out with, okay, I'm going to handle this guy with just brute force, and here we go. So they have a decent battle in space and in the moon, and then eventually Invincible's like, whoa, wait. And they start talking, and Alan's like, okay, let's talk. Kind of talk over the differences, and then you figure out that Alan is actually trying to go to another planet that sounds not exactly like Earth, but Wrath or something like that. And Mark was like, this is Earth. You got the wrong planet. Alan gets embarrassed, and he's just like, oh, my bad. sorry. And they just settle it right then and there. No more fighting. I thought that was just a great scene because it's like, you would think that could be solved in comic books all the time. Just like, whoa, let's talk about this. You got it all wrong. If that were only the case. So now enter the third and final time the Flaxans invade Earth. And I mean, they are evolved. They are ready. They are prepared. And the leader comes in with this huge Hulkbuster armor, and he's just like, oh yeah, bring me Invincible, blah, 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 blah. And I must say, they put the team through hell. They are just kicking their butts left and right. Invincible, not looking so invincible now, is he? And then when all hope seems lost, enter Omni-Man. All the aliens see how Omni-Man is just destroying the fleet. I mean, very easily, too. And they were like, I'm done. Go on. You can have it. But that leader in the Hulkbuster, he persists. He wanted Omni-Man dead. Big mistake. He charges at Omni-Man, and Omni-Man's like, okay, let's do this. He flies into the leader, grabs him, and brings him into the portal that they came from. The portal closes behind him. Now Omni-Man is on their planet, bringing the battle to them. I must say, this was my favorite scene in the entire episode, possibly even the entire series. I don't know, we're not done yet. So this is when Omni-Man goes Super Saiyan God all over the planet. I mean, he is just decimating this thing. He is flying through buildings. Things are going off. Nuclear explosions everywhere. He is throwing things, punching things. He is going berserk. This was easily the most impressive scene, obviously because it's my favorite, but it was so well drawn. The animation is fabulous. The way they show the power behind Omni-Man, because you may see him lift a tank or you may see him, punching something or whatever, but this is where he really shines. I was very, very impressed with this scene. And basically it ends with Omni-Man holding an entire continent above his head and about to drop it on these aliens, and the Flaxans are like, whoa, wait, okay, here's the boob tube. Go through it, please. And Omni-Man's just holding the thing like, all right, thanks, here it is. And he just drops it and lays waste to the rest of them, and he flies through the portal, and you can see he's aged because on that planet, time's accelerating, and, it's like months on that planet is like an hour here, and I like that concept. And after Omni-Man disappeared, Mark witnessed that and thought he lost his dad forever. So Mark goes home all sad and mopey and is like, I lost Dad through a portal. She looks at him and kind of just brushes it off like M. Bison in Street Fighter and was like, oh, he does that every Tuesday. It's just a Tuesday for us. Within minutes, Omni-Man returns home, grateful to be with his family. Mark's all happy because he really thought he lost his dad at that point. And as he's hugging them and they're all embracing together, he looks at the TV and it shows the news about the Guardians being killed. And he just stares at that TV and roll credits. So this episode was really good. Had a lot of action, a lot of character development with Teen Team. And it introduced a few more characters as well, like Cecil. Well, that about does it. I hope you all enjoyed this review of episode 2 of Invincible. Stay tuned for my review on episode 3. If you like what you've seen here, don't forget to subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell at the top, and let me know your thoughts on this episode. As always, I am Clint the Knick-Knack, and I will see you on the next one.